Week 5, designer color demo. Okay, so in your color class, you have been using the color wheel, and we will be using it in this class for sure as well for our colorways. But I wanted to talk today about colors that aren't on the wheel. Okay, and I mentioned this in the demo as well, as you will see. I remember when I was a design student, there were certain colors that I really liked that I wasn't taught how to mix in my color class. Okay, I had a very good color teacher, but everything we did was primary colors mixed to make secondary colors, which were mixed to make tertiary colors, right? The 1, 2, 3, right? The home run of when you're doing standard color mixing in design. Now, there were colors that I really liked, like I really like. It was called Indian Rubber Red, and it's this very beautiful brownish red that I loved, and I couldn't figure out how to mix it. I also really liked Robin's Egg Blue, which was a very rich blue-green color, and I couldn't mix it. And there were a certain range of blues that I was also not able to mix. And they were like these kind of seafoam colors and these kind of almost grayish blues that were coming out of Milan at that time. They were like the really high-end leather and fashion houses like Bottega Veneta and Brunello Cucinelli were making these suits and jackets in these incredible weird kind of gray browny blues. And I couldn't figure out why I couldn't mix them with our colors. The answer is you need things like raw umber, burnt umber, the siennas, yellow ochre, these weird colors. Burnt umber is like the best color ever. It's this weird kind of blue-brown, and it mixes all of those colors really well. Like if you want the Robin's Egg Blue, you put yellow ochre into a blue that you've mixed, and it greens it out, but it doesn't green it out the way you'd get like a bright, vivid green. It creates the more subtle colors. So that's what today's demo is about. It's about mixing the more subtle designer colors. And this is what we're going to be arriving at the end of the demo, okay? So buckle up, here we go. I'm gonna run the demo and hold questions until the end, please. Looking good, okay. Okay. Today, I would like to spend some time focusing on designer color. And in your kits, you have the primaries, the red, the yellow, the blue, but you also have some more complicated colors. The umbers and the yellow ochre and Okay. Today, I would like to spend some time focusing on designer color. And in your kits, you have the primaries, the red, the yellow, the blue, but you also have some more complicated colors. The umbers and the yellow ochre and colors like that, which are very useful when you want to create what I call designer color. Now, these colors are when you are, like, first of all, I'll start out with just a regular pale blue, okay? Okay, so that is basic, nice pale blue, white and blue mixed together, okay? Now it's when you start mixing in the more complicated colors, like your burnt umber, that some interesting things start to happen with your color. And this is when you start getting those really subtle shades that I always think of as coming from Italy. I remember the fabrics and the textiles that were coming from Italy always had these shades that were really interesting, and they were just subtle and they were unusual, and I could never figure out how they did it. Because I'd taken color theory class during my first year of university, and they had taught us the basic color wheel, like primary colors, and then you mix them for secondary, and then you mix your secondaries to get tertiary. But I could not figure out where these like crazy interesting colors were coming from. And it wasn't until I took another class, and it was a higher level class from the environmental design program, that I actually learned about using things like the raw umbers and the siennas to create the colors that I just was really excited by. The things that I wasn't able to mix from a regular. And this is what I'm doing over here. I'm mixing in my umbers into my regular paints, so I could get shades like this, like your your more complicated blues and greens, and the shades. Is it gray? Is it a deep blue, very pale deep blue? It's kind of hard to tell, and I think that that's really, it's a lot of fun as a designer to mix color that way, right? It's ambiguous. We talked about ambiguous shapes. You can also have ambiguous color, which is really very. Okay, right now I'm mixing up a sienna and a red to create a really interesting designer pumpkin color. Be our designer color for Halloween. I put some yellow and some white into that. I'm going to get a pink that doesn't make you think about bubble gum. right? Pastels, earth tones, they all have kind of associations. So really crazy pinks can be subtly toned down with the use of your other shades, your siennas and your umbers. Okay, that one I'm going to put some umber into it to get this pale beige. This is when things get really fun, because then you can just start really playing around and exploring where your designer color can take you. A darker blue with some umber mixed into it will cool it off, give you a really nice gray. If you mix complementary colors, they will gray each other out. It's a way of creating grays that isn't just a black and white, right? There's description of gray where it's called either a warm or a cool gray, and that a warm gray will have a lot of yellow, orange, or red mixed into it. A cool gray will be very blue. This is that same gray that I've now mixed some purple into. So I've mixed some sienna into that purple, and it's given me a really beautiful warm brown, very rich color, purpley brown. Lightened it up and put in yellow. Then a bit more blue. To create one of those like seafoam, very bluey grays. Although now it's graying out because I got too much yellow in there. Oh well, let's see how this looks. Got a warm gray there. I want to definitely add some more blue because I want my seafoam. There we go. Okay, so that is my seafoamy blue gray color. More blue. The yellow one there is definitely graying it out. As you can see, color theory is not a joke. It is very much a series of laws and principles that are very true. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So that is an exploration of designer color. Something else to think about is, and this is something that you can't mix with our paints by themselves, is metallics. If you want to get a metallic sheen, buy it. You can get paints that have nice metallic colors, and if you're wanting to work with a metallic in your design work, you can see that. It can be really nice as well. Put the rest of that on my palette, flatten that out. You can also mix designer color in with your metallics to create great new shades as well. And these are the shades you'll see with brands like Bottega Veneta. They're really beautiful leather goods. They will go into some very sophisticated metallic colors, right? So something else to think about that you can bring to your design work is various iridescent sheens, that sort of thing, which you can buy in your paints. The coppery colors, the more designer metallics. This is a silver. And again, if you want a really good metallic shine, it's worth it to invest in the tube of paint. Okay, so those are designer colors. Okay. All right, so as mentioned, these are the colors that I mixed during my demo. And it's colors like your Indian red, the like aubergine, the eggplanty colors, the Bordeaux's, those very brownish, deep reds, purpley reds. Those are all colors that are mixed with your ochres and burnt umbers. Okay, and the metallics are you buy like iridescent gold, iridescent bronze. And this, the silver I like is called the Liquid Mirror. And I got this at, I think, Curry's, which is a Toronto-based art supply store. And this stuff is great. This is the best silver I've ever used. And you can use like this, and because they're water-based, right? Like you can mix your color to a metallic and get like metallic versions of your shades. Like you use the color wheel, right? And then you mix, and then you can either mix your umbers and ochres, or you can mix your metallics into those primary, secondary, tertiary colors, okay? And that is what we are working on today, because we are doing the one original swatch and then the various color versions of it. Which is the first part of project 2.